Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Nikki here, and today I need to finish my junk journal collab swap. It's an Australian group of junk journalers who swap with a different partner each month, and we have to make specific items. This month we are making 3 fold-up pockets with side tucks. I've made the first 2 and we're going to make the third one together. This one is just lots of soft, pretty pastel flowers and things filling the cute little pockets. There's 2 pockets in this, and then there's 2 hidden little tuck spots on the side with little mini journaling cards and tabs. So the only fairy I could find in my stash, because I don't have all my stuff here, was that one. So I made sure I included that because my recipient loves fairies. And this one here I have just filled with a variety of tags. I embossed that plain pink tag. This one here I did stamp on with some lovely copper sort of coloured ink, but I don't know if the camera's even going to pick that up. But it's cute. It looks lovely in real. So yes, just decided to just fill this particular one with a variety of tags. And I did the normal little journaling cards the same for all of them because I didn't really want ribbon hanging out the side. So we need a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, and you cut a 4-inch strip. If you have a pattern on your paper that runs a particular direction, that's where you have to start measuring from. So first, 4 inches down, and we fold our piece of cardstock up. The next bit, add another 3 inches and fold down. Then add another 2 inches and fold up. And just like that, we have turned a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock into a double pocket. Very simple, great way to use up scrap paper. Don't worry too much about the print because once you've filled the little pockets and everything, you're hardly going to see it. We are going to round off the corners on these. Of course, this one's now misbehaving, but finally get there. And I will also round off the corners on the pockets as well, but I won't do the bottom. We'll leave that straight and solid. So if you don't have a corner rounder, you can do it by hand. One little trick is to use a 5-cent piece and trace a little corner on. That works really well. Otherwise, you can leave them square too, and that won't matter. So I think for this one, I wanted to go sort of a little darker, a little vintagey, little bit grungier than the other 2, even though my recipient loves pastel. So I'm sort of sticking with that colour shade. But I'm just going to very lightly, I don't like really, really dark edges. So I'm just going to very lightly go around all the edges. You don't have to be too pedantic with a lot of this because a lot of it will be hidden once we glue our little pockets down. But look, it's one of those things, it's completely up to you. The only one I've tried to do really clearly was the front little pocket because obviously you will see the whole lot of it. But the rest of it, I just fluffed around the edges just to tone it down a bit and give this one a little bit more of a vintagey look. Don't have to be paranoid about it. Just keep things simple, and or don't do your edges at all if you don't want to. I did use a little bit of gold on the first one around the edges. I don't think I did any on the second, and that's fine too. Just because everyone else likes dark edges doesn't mean you always have to do that too. Okay, so simple as that. So once we have done all of our little things, we need to put our pocket back, and we need to have it facing upright so that we are looking at it as the way it will fit. Now we need to do some gluing. Now I'm using my favourite tiger glue here, and the first thing we need to do is fold the main flap down, and we are going to glue both sides down. Okay, a nice thin strip of glue. If you're not into thin strips of glue, you can always use double-sided tape. I just try and avoid it at all costs. Where I live in southeast Queensland. It gets quite humid, and I find double-sided tape just loses its oomph and is useless, so I don't use it. So we just gently press. I haven't used too much glue because I don't want it all spurting out the sides. So we gently press down the sides, and we've now created our first pocket. Done. Then we fold down the small front flap, and we're doing exactly the same thing again. We're just putting a nice little bit of glue down each side, and again creating a pocket. And as you can see, not too much glue, nothing spitting out the side. That's the way I like it. And as you can see, just showing you that we have made 2 pockets. Very easy. Now, we need to turn this over and open it up. And, of course, initially I thought, oh, Nikki, have you glued this down wrong? But no, I hadn't. I was just grabbing it the wrong way. Now, you just have to watch what you're doing here to make sure you keep it in the right direction, because this time we are gluing across the bottom so that we close off the base and run a thin strip down the middle. The reason for this is we are now creating the 2 tuck spots. So you have to make sure that you glue in the correct place. So we now have our 2 pockets. We now have our 2 tuck spots. Very, very simple. And when it has dried a bit, we'll be putting something inside. So that is it. That's actually it, built and done. These are so simple. They would be fabulous to put gift cards in, or some cash as a present. A great little easy thing to make for Happy Mail if you do Happy Mail swaps with people. Honestly, these look really cute when they're finished, and they're so simple as long as you glue in the right spots. So now we just want to add a little bit of decoration to this one. So I've got a piece of coffee dyed paper here. Again, I'm trying to make this one a little bit more neutral, a little bit more vintagey, grungy than the other 2. So I thought good old coffee dyed paper to the rescue. And I often like to use a longer strip and then just neatly trim off the sides. I usually find the paper seems to stick down a lot better that way. So we're just snipping off our excess, and then we've got that done. Pressing it down firmly. Now we have, I've grabbed a couple of other little pretty bits. Again, we're sort of trying to keep with the neutral / colour theme. So I've just went through my stash. I found the butterfly mothy thing, which I'm just going to put a little bit of ink around the edges, was cut out from a sheet of butterfly, sort of abstract butterflies they are a little bit, of cardstock that I've had in my stash for years, and every now and then I slowly cut a piece out and use it. But this one I just felt the size and the colours were perfect for this pocket. So just a tiny little bit of ink around the edges just to create a little bit of contrast. And because this is quite a thick cardstock, I'm going to use my tiger glue rather than glue stick. Tiger glue just holds everything in place, but I don't like it as much on really thin papers. I tend to just use glue stick then. So we're going to pop our little butterfly down on top. And I always like to try and I like using tweezers to try and place things down as neatly and as straight as possible, because I hate things that aren't straight. And really, as a junk journaler, that can make life very difficult sometimes. Then I have this other cute little bit. I think this was might have been a Tim Holtz ephemera pack of some sort that I found that in, or it was one of the ones I purchased a while ago off AliExpress. I just thought it was cute, matched my theme. Then I have a real stamp here, and I have a lot of stamps, so I went through and tried to find one with the right sort of colour, and I thought this sort of burgundy one went really well with what we were doing. And then the last final little bit, I think this is, this little tiny strip is a Tim Holtz little number thing I found in my stash, because it was hard. I was trying to find little things to put on here. And so, again, it's quite thick, so we're going to pop that down with the tweezers. Now, just one thing I didn't mention before, when you're picking your cardstock to make these, probably best not to use really thick cardstock if it's for someone that's going to be putting in a journal, because I do feel this will end up really bulky. So I tried to go for the lighter weight cardstock, which is more common than not these days. They're not as thick as they used to be, but I do feel that's better. Now I've got these 3 cards that I bought this mixed pack from Daiso a little while ago. I thought they were a really cute addition. So we're popping 3 of those in. Then I just went through my stash. I found these 2 pieces. Both of them sort of have butterfly print on it. I thought that sort of kept with the theme. They're quite thin. I was going to back them, and then I thought, no, because they'd be great to stick down somewhere. Cute little round tab and a stamp sticker. That's a faux one. I think that's a great little way to fill those pockets. And again, I'm keeping it, with the muted colours and more vintage. Now, I created these 6 little journaling cards, 2 for each one. I was lucky. I went through my die cutting things and found this perfect size that fits in our little tuck spots. And I've got this cute little sticker book here. I bought this off AliExpress ages ago, and I thought I just want something want to add something to these little journaling cards. These are actually cut from a masterboard, and I just wanted to add something. Now, keeping in mind, we're going to be adding a tab, so maybe don't pick something too big, and if it is relatively large or long, try and nudge it over to one side so that you have room to stick down your tabs without covering your image, if, of course, you don't want any of your image covered. So rifling through here, these stickers are very thin. They're fabulous, actually, but sometimes it can be hard to find where the sticker cut line is, so takes me a bit of a while, a few minutes sometimes, but no, we're all good. So we're sticking that down, and then I went through my stash again and found some tabs. I made a whole lot of these one day, and I have an old stamp album that I keep ephemera in, so I found these 2 in my stash. So we're just simple bit of glue and then popping these on down the side. And then I was going to do both with the print, but when I flipped that one over and putting the glue on it, I went, oh, I actually like the colours on the back of this. So when I'm doing the second one, I've decided to flip it over and you show the coloured side on the front instead of the print. And that's how easy these things are. Now, you could... instead of little mini journaling cards, you could make like a little mini notebook. You could just fold up a nice piece of vintage paper and tuck it in the sides. You could, if you were using it for something that wasn't journaling, you could tuck some money in there and see if the recipient notices that it's even hiding in there. I think these are fabulous, these little pockets, and I'm not going to stick these in fully just yet. I'll wait until the glue's at least had a chance to dry. But how fabulous are these? This is a really simple thing to make, but I think they look really impressive, and if you were to send them to anybody, I think they'd really enjoy them. So nice easy project, we like those, and here they are now, all complete. I'm so happy with these. So they're going in the mail. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy.